Be strong.
Let go of fear, you're holding the fire smoldering, it's starting all over again. I got a feeling that I ought to know it, burning inside. I got a feeling that I ought to know it, yeah. Every time I grip the wheel, I begin to feel I know I'm in fire. A white knuckle ride. You got a fix for me, you know what I need. Oh, it's a breakneck speed. Might as well enjoy the ride.
The Great American Speedway, a track that was built back in 1996, has been hosting multiple racing series throughout, and tonight it is doing something that hasn't been done technically since season 1, but something also that has not been done in this series history, and that is hosting the Velocity Online Racing Series. Now, you're like, well, wait a minute, you just said, Chris, they were back in season 1. Yeah, that's kind of true, but they haven't hosted them in throwback liveries, have they? No, they haven't. Tonight is throwback night in Velocity Online Racing Series. We'll be talking about all the paint schemes and detailing them all throughout this evening as we welcome you in to Texas Motor Speedway and VOR in the Sunset Arctic Games Texas 400 here at the world's, of course I just lost the nickname in my head, the Great American Speedway. That's the track that used to be known as No Limits Texas here. 78 degrees ambient, 80 degrees down on track. It is getting cooler, it's getting darker, and the speeds are going up. Now, we're not getting anywhere near the track record that has been ran by Paul Tracy back in 2002 after the kart race that ended up not happening in the end. But we are going to see some fast speeds in draft racing around this 1.5 mile oval. Let's take a look at the race info for tonight. As you see right there, 167 laps, 250 miles, 400 kilometers. Season 1, Julian Altina won the race. The track record, I mentioned Paul Tracy, 2001, not 2. 22.5. Can you imagine going around a mile and a half track that fast? Speeds of over 240 mile an hour right there. Tonight, the fastest lap we just saw in practice was all of a 23.9. So they are definitely running laps around this track. You see the pit entry over in turn 3 tonight. So we got to be careful and be aware of that. All the way around the apron, they'll have to go to turn number 4, and then of course turn 1 to turn 2. This is how they will run through pit road. This is the first time, by the way, I believe that they will run the new Texas Motor Speedway surface in the series. So that is going to make for some very fun racing when it is all over with. Here is the schedule. As you mentioned, Texas here, May the 8th. We'll take another week off next week and then come back at Road America for round number 6. That is 45 laps on the Grand Prix circuit. That is coming up here on the 22nd of May. So, again, going to be a very fun stretch of races here throughout. So let's go down to the track right now. We'll go over some other stuff here just a little bit, points and things, but qualifying is starting, and we got to see who's going to win the Circle B Diecast Pole Award. And as per usual, we go on the grid, and you'll see the times down there at the bottom. When somebody is across the line and is in purple, that person looks like will win the pole. If it's green, they're running faster. If they're yellow, they're running either slower or matching the speeds of their cars. As Christian Jasper, the 67, going to be the first one across the line. So he'll set fast time here in the benchmark, 24.5 right now. Again, fast time was a 23.98 in practice. the back straightaway into turn number 3 and 4. Again, a lot of great throwback paints, so on and so forth here tonight. And Jasper 24:31 on his first lap. Jose Vergara goes P2 with a 24:49. A 31 there, as I mentioned, for Jasper. Let's go down here to Thomas Geisler. He's a fast one. This number 16, the Adrian Fernandez paint. Back straightaway right now, Geisler P2 at a 24:41. He's purple, you see down there at the screen.
We have controversy.
Off turn 4, across the line. To the pole, 24:23. As Antonio Estrada crosses the line, there's an old schooler for you. Little Marlboro colors of Team Penske. These guys do have 10 minutes to qualify, so plenty of time here to get 2 laps on the board. This is likely going to be the fastest, getting that car up to speed and across the line. Estrada actually not going to be faster, slower by 3/100ths. How about the guy that won this first race? Look at that paint. Solid little blue blazer right there. Godso, he crosses the line in the 3 car, 24:50. Again, we got all the details tonight. We'll go through all the paint schemes throughout this race. Godso holding wide open through turn 4 and across the line. 24:30 for Godso. Now, you'll notice the Texas Motor Speedway, if you've not seen a race here since the repave and the re-engineering of the track, turn 1 and 2, a wider but less banked corner now than turn 3 and 4. 1 and 2 only at 20 degrees, 3 and 4 at still the 24 degrees that it had previously. Oscar Fredrickson on the track. Oscar using this kind of as a throwaway lap. He'll cross the line with a 24:50 as Gavin Sanders goes to the top and ties Thomas Geisler. Woodall crossing the line. Now, Julian Alton has run 2 laps and has not registered a time at all. Not sure what's going on with him. But across the line, Oscar, 24:31 up to P5. Alton at 24:32. Said he could run 2 laps, maybe not. There's Matt Houston, he's ready to go. Van de Sande. Alex not with a throwback tonight, just running his family's chili paint scheme. The number 17 there. Happy Trails chili seasoning mix. Something I need to order online one day on Amazon. Is Van de Sande going P1? He is 24:23 to P1. who is left out there on track. We got Christian Allegio right now. Now, there is one huge penalty you are going to see in play this evening that is pretty much going to take this man, unfortunately, out of the race before he even gets into the race. But we have to go back to 2 weeks ago at Phoenix. There was an incident involving Isaac Morris. He was in the wall, and he tried to limp the car around the 1 mile over to get to pit road. And on the back straightaway, was ran over by another car. The stewards decided to penalize Isaac Morris for being too dangerous out on track with the damaged race car, and he is being penalized 5 laps. So if I read that correctly, that happens here at the beginning of this race. So I'll have to check in on that to make sure that happens. But Isaac did suffer a really big penalty when it was all over with from that finish. Isaac Morris we're talking about there. As Isaac goes 15th with a 24.94. There's Isaac right there. The EchoBlade game, if you go into the information on YouTube here, you can actually get there's a link right there to the Steam page, and you'll be able to go check out the game right there. I'm not sure about the pre-ordering or anything like that, but that is where you can go and check that out right there. And speaking of the young man, there is Dakota DeMed, as Matt Houston ties Van de Sant with a 24.23. The young man has created both EchoBlade and a Voltic pistol. Dakota DeMay on track, part of Sunset Arctic Games. The video game designer himself on the back straightaway right now. DeMay off turn 4. And a 24.33 lap 1. Dakota purple as he crosses the back straightaway there. Let's see what he can do into the higher banks of 3 and 4. Running right down to that white line. Oh, he clipped the grass. That might have did him in. No, they counted it 24.24, but it did hurt him. I thought it might have given him a 2X, and it didn't. So 19 of the 22 cars in the field have qualified as we got 30 seconds left. And nobody else is on the track, so we'll go ahead and say it. Congratulations to Alex Van de Sant, the Indy driver, going to win the Circle B Diecast Pole Award. Again, if you could use the word code word there, Foxworth Autosport, you will get a 20% discount on your purchases. Of course, they do deliver only in the U.S. and Canada areas. On orders over $20. Let me get that in there. So use code word Foxworth Autosports to get free shipping on orders over $20. CircleBDiecast.com. Of course, they have a NASCAR and IndyCar diecast and more. So congratulations to Alex Van de Sant on the pole. All right, so cars are going to grid. As we take a look at the starting lineup for this Texas Sunset Arctic Games 400 here at the Texas Motor Speedway, Alex Van de Sant, 24.23, wins the pole, tying with Matt Houston for P2. Gavin Sanders, he'll start alongside Thomas Geisler there in the 4th position. Dakota DeMay, as I mentioned, a race sponsor tonight. He'll start alongside Antonio Estrada in the 74 car. Nicholas Sudik in the 87, he'll start alongside Isaac Morris. Gary Gotso, AJ Musselman, they'll start in row number 5. Oscar Fredrickson and Christian Jasper, row number 6. Row number 7, Julian Altena, Thai Richard, Richter, I should say. Christian Alagio and Jose Viguera going to take row number 8. Row 9, Lewis Woodall, Craig Forsyth, James Watson, the Ohio driver, alongside Diego Pereno. Joe Harleman, Anthony Concha, they will take the last row in the field. So taking a look at some of the throwback paints that we're seeing this evening. Let's start there. Gavin Sanders in the 10 car tonight. Gavin is running the Scott Dixon paint scheme that Scott ran back in the 2001 Kart Rookie of the Year. Of course, it'd be his third start in the series at Texas, followed up, of course, by winning the next event in Nazareth, which was actually Scott Dixon's only kart win in his career. He finished 8th in the championship that season, the 2008 Indy 500 winner, 6-time IndyCar Series champion, 50 wins, tied for second all-time with Mario Andretti, and, of course, 5 Texas wins. Here we go. Off of turn number 4 as we go green at Texas Motor Speedway in IndyCar's Velocity Online style. And look at Gavin in that 10 car coming for the lead on lap 1. You're going to see cars all over the place here in turn number 1 and 2. That's one thing I learned actually running this race last week in the C-Fix series for the Indy cars, is you were able to go all over the place in turn 1 and work that draft and make it happen. Alex is going to hold that bottom line right now, but the draft going to play a major role as Matt Houston there in the second position. And Gary got some with issues, turn number 4 off the front straightaway here. The 3 car has gone spinning, no caution. And Gary's going to tow it back to pit road, unfortunately. He's done. As Sanders continuing to try that high line. Alex has led all 4 laps so far in this race. AJ Musselman here in the 54 cars. He rides right here behind the draft of the lead cars. Anthony Concha, the 64, off the pace right now, looking to spread out 2, 3, almost 4 wide. Appreciate all the viewers so far watching tonight. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Otherwise, if you're somebody who's a regular on the channel, make sure you share it with some friends and family members. Get them out here watching also some great racing here tonight. A double header, if you will, of tonight as Houston had to get out of the throttle a little bit. Dakota DeMay right here in the 3rd position, going to take that spot away. Dakota now number 82, looking pretty good so far this evening. you see Dakota there in that car. Dakota paying homage to Roberto Moreno, who had his career best third-place championship finish in 2000. He finished 13th in the 2001 championship with an actual win in Vancouver. 120 career starts, 2 wins, 2 poles. And Roberto Moreno there, that paint scheme in that number 82. And there's the, as I mentioned, Adrian Fernandez paint scheme, the old Tailgate number 16 car. Thomas Geisler. Oh, one car spinning back straightaway here. Antonio Estrada. The 74 has gone around. That'll bring out the caution. Look out, everybody. Oh, he clips another car. And that was James Watson he hit. Well, first caution out here, lap number 12 of this Texas Sunset Arctic Games. And Matt Houston just wrecked over in turn 2. Multiple issues here. We'll have to check it all out. What happened here to bring out the first caution? Alex is going to stay out. Looks like the leaders are all going to stay out. Nope, most of them. AJ Musselman turns left and goes to pit road. Let's see what happens. The wreck starts when Antonio Estrada off turn 2. Looks like snap loose maybe potentially for this 74 car. Oh yeah, he gets loose right there and it comes around and he is going to nail that inside wall. He's doing okay. All the cars try to scatter. And he rolls down just a little bit and clips James Watson. And then let's stay right here for a second, because Matt Houston is going to come around turn number 2 here as the caution comes out. And he locks. Oh wow, I think he goes to check up from the leader. And into the wall he goes. Let's take a look at it. And he gets loose right there and is trying to go catch it and unable to do so, and around he goes in turn number 1. Now, taking a look here really quickly. That paint scheme honoring Helio Castroneves, of course, who was preparing to make his first Indy 500 start, resulting in his first of 3 500 wins. Only a month later, he finished 4th in the 2001 championship with wins at Long Beach, Detroit, and Mid-Ohio. Of course, known for his signature Spider-Man fence climb following the win. One of the longest, tenured Team Penske drivers, 351 starts between CART and IndyCar, 30 wins, 54 poles. And, of course, will be attempting his 20th Indy 500 start in May. Now, this race, as you're hearing, referencing the 2000 race for the CART series at that time. Appreciate Gary Godso, by the way, sent me all this information on these drivers tonight. Gary on the track still. He is 7 laps down. He's going to try to get some points there in that number 3 tonight. Now, interesting development here, and I wonder how this is going to get called, as AJ Musselman came to pit road off turn 4. The rules, I believe, say you have to do it off turn 3, and you see Alex down here on the apron right now. See if that's being done. That's actually being done purposely. I didn't know if he was coming to pit road or not there. So either way, should get one to go this time by and wrap up this first caution of the night. Watson will get back on track right now. Of course, James in the 18th position. Update on the situation with Isaac Morris. I actually am not seeing Isaac's. Oh, there he is, right here in the 11th position. I mentioned a 5-lap penalty. I've got to investigate that a little bit because of, I think maybe it was actually done last week or at the Phoenix race. But he is still out here running right now at lap number 14, so I'll have to investigate that a little bit. Thought I maybe misread that. I'm actually going to go into the penalty page really quickly here and get that information. I thought I read that right earlier, but maybe I didn't. So I'm looking at right now. Okay, so it was a 5-lap penalty in that race, it appears. So I just misread that a little bit. So my apologies for misleading everyone. But Isaac there in the 11th position and still running. As single file restarts, as always, in IndyCar, we go back racing. Lap number 12 or lap 16. Here we go. And a big shout out to our friends at TV Cams for Gourmets. If you're looking for some awesome cameras like this that focus on ovals and road and rallycross, and got virtual reality also a part of it, and you can even get fan experience type cameras, you can check out trackcams22.com. They are located right there in the race information page. But they are supplying the cameras for tonight and a majority of the Captain TV broadcast. Here you see Geisler trying to work his way up Alex Van de Sande, who's led all 17 laps in this race. There you can see how wide turn 1 and 2 is. Dakota way down at the bottom. Thomas Geisler at the top. Geisler gets to run down the straightaway. This multi-groove racing that has been created by iRacing. The turn 1, almost 3 wide back there. As Nicholas Sadiq back there in the 87 trying to make a move up here in the top 5. Apologize, it's actually Gavin. Nicholas is back there. As to the top side, here comes Geisler for the lead. Oh, trickiness with the lap car there. The 64 of Anthony Concha does a good job staying out of everybody's way. Here, look at all these cars battling in and out. You see Isaac Morris there. Oh, one car's climbing a wall. Is that Concha with a rail slide? And that's going to bring the caution out for the second time. That is one way to keep it up against the wall the whole time. And second caution out, lap 21. You know, the us iRacers, we always joke around and say, hey, when you hit the wall, can you please keep it up against it so you don't bounce back out on the track and wreck somebody? I mean, that's one way of doing it. What Anthony just did. Just climb it. Everybody checking out for the pace car. We'll see if we get pit stops this time around. Unlimited tires out here, and of course fuel to. There's as long as they can in a run, 167 laps. These cars can go about 40 to 50 laps on a tank. So easily a 3-stop race. They should be in the window if they wanted to. They're not going to pit. So in that case, we're actually going to step away and come back. As you're watching Velocity Online Racing, it is the Sunset Arctic Games 400 at Texas Motor Speedway. Back at Texas Motor Speedway, and of course that is Voltic Pistol, created by Sunset Arctic Games, and they are the sponsor of tonight's race, and the sponsor in one of the gentlemen who work with the company, of course, Dakota May in the 82 car. And basically, if you look for information on both of Voltic Pistol and EchoBlade, you can check those out right there in the race information page. But Sunset Arctic Games, an indie game development company with one game that is currently on Steam. That is available to play. That would be the Voltic Pistol, which is a 2D medieval cyberpunk platformer where you shoot and slice your way through your enemies. Every time you face death, your clone will reappear with a different set of stats along with different sets of enemies to face. Each level not the same. Yeah, you're going to play each one. If you play the same level a second and third time, it's different. That's pretty interesting there. And of course, EchoBlade going to be released in the summertime. So we're looking forward to seeing both those games from Dakota DeMay, who has done a great job with Sunset Arctic Games. Shout out to some of our viewers watching tonight. I see Eric and I don't even know how you'd pronounce that. Is it Miki Wib or something like that? But they're having a good old time with the game. So, as long as viewers are having fun, I don't care. But I do see 10 in the stream. Again, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. We're down to 15 subscribers away from the precious 400. So cars behind the wall right now, Matt Houston, Antonio Estrada, and Anthony Concha. All been involved in accidents here in the first couple of laps. You see the 39 up there in the track map, James Watson. James currently 3 laps down now in the 18th position in this race. Alex Van de Sant led all 25 laps so far in this race. Thomas Geisler's been all over him, so has Gavin Sanders, Dakota DeMay. Oscar Fredrickson been quiet. Julian Altina up 7 spots in this race. Jose Miguel Phillips of Vigera up 9 spots from the start of this race. As Alex going to lead him back to the green flag here. Lap number 25, that Happy Trails Chili Mix, number 17. And here we go, back to the green flag. Field kind of spread out here a little bit. Had a few cars come to pit road there. Craig Forsyth, Nicholas Sudik came to pit road. Christian Allegio, Lewis Woodall, Diego Pereno, Joe Harleman all came to pit road there and made stops under that second caution, lap number 25. Down the back straightaway, just like old Craig. Is that Craig, I think, that almost got the wall back there? And here comes the 33 of Richter. Going to take the position away from Jose Miguel Phillips Viguera. We'll keep an eye on these guys here with the fresh tires back here. There's the Taco Bell, number 87. This is the helmet cam. The helmet, we are actually inside the helmet where this is set up right now with Nicholas Sudik. Geisler trying to get into the outside, see if he can get the draft. Sanders not really running with him, but Dakota DeMay jumps up there to the top. Julian Olsen up to the top 5. Julian in that 31 car, I think, is going to be making his debut tonight in the next race that you're going to see on Captain TV, and that is at Michigan Speedway, part of the, wait for it, Sunset Arctic Games Grand National Series. That is why it's the Sunset Arctic Games doubleheader you're going to see tonight. Michigan Speedway in the Xfinity cars. You will see Blue Julian going to make his debut there at Michigan this evening in that series also. So he's going to be on a plane flying really quickly up to Brooklyn, Michigan for that race. Now Julian is running a paint scheme tribute to Sarah Fisher. She, of course, finished 18th and 25th in 2 IndyCar races at Texas in 2001. She had her best career finish at Homestead to start that season. Also finished 19th in the championship. She was, in 2002, had the best start at Indianapolis, a 9th, and best finish is 17th in 09. She was voted most popular driver 3 years in a row from 2000 to 2002. And, of course, later became a team owner and collected her first win at Kentucky with co-owner Ed Carpenter. There's that number 31 car. Running in the 5th position right now as this battle for the lead is fierce. Geisler putting all types of pressure on the back of that 17. Not sure how much tire fall off we're going to see in this race, but we will keep an eye on it because if we don't see much, you're going to see handling come into play, but it is still going to be pack racing just like we're seeing right now. For Geisler, is this frustrating that you're sitting on the outside like this trying to make moves, or is it fun? Isaac Morris up to the 6th position. He's got Oscar Fredrickson back there. Oscar in at number 12. He's also running a throwback scheme tonight. Oscar's throwback. Quickly goes back to Kenny Breck. Kenny, unfortunately, his biggest news here at Texas Motor Speedway is not going to come from winning or anything like that. Of course, Kenny, 1999 Indy 500 champion, drove for AJ Foyt. He moved from IRL to kart in 2000 with Team Rahal. Was the Rookie of the Year that season. Finished 2nd in the 2001 championship with 4 wins, including Motegi, Milwaukee, Chicago, which at that time was a short track, if I remember correctly, in Euro Speedway in Germany. Came back to IRL and suffered a near career-ending wreck. It is at that corner right there, turn 2 here at Texas Motor Speedway, where he went up into the fence and that car disintegrated. One of the more vicious wrecks we've seen in IndyCar, but he did return in 2005, where he did have the fastest qualification for the Indy 500 in 2005. However, it was not a pole because it was not a first day qualifying lap. Now, in the race here at Texas that year, 2000, the race that they're representing tonight, Gary put on here that Kenny Breck won the pole in the lap that night, a 22.854, which was 233 miles an hour around Texas Motor Speedway. You're not supposed to go that fast around here. Battle for second. Oh, on the apron was Geisler. Is Gavin Sanders going to sweep around? Going to lose some momentum. Here comes Dakota. Let's see what kind of move he makes to the outside. Isaac Morris coming into the picture. This field pretty much separated back into two different packs right now. Here's your second pack being led by Nicholas Sadiq. Craig Forsyth is always running his own throwback that he runs every week. This is the Greg Moore players paint scheme. As he's going to get passed by the 23 Jose Miguel Phillips Viguera. Craig, a Canadian driver who always pays homage to Greg Moore and that players team. Of course, back then also Paul Tracy drove for that team, and who else has driven for that team? Patrick Carpentier, just to name a couple other drivers there. Alex Van de Sant led every lap so far in this Texas Sunset Arctic Games 400. These guys just able to draft up and pop out and make the pass. Just shuffling positions. Let's add another car potentially to this battle as they come into the picture. Thai Richter, the 8th place position here. Thai in that number 33. Didn't see, is he on the list here there? There's a few schemes that weren't on the track tonight, so I'm just trying to make sure I don't put those against him. Doesn't look like he's on there. So, but that cool looking livery there on that car. See him trying to work his way up there to the back of the field. See Sanders continue to try to get that lead. Him and these guys have tried forever and a day to get that pass. You see him kind of separating out now, so I think the handling now starting to come into play a little bit here. Isaac Morris is falling about a second back, so Dakota really hard to the back here in the 9th position, or in the 6th position I should say, falling back about almost 2 seconds to the leader. So Eric and Mackay, I guess that is, how do you guys know Dakota, if I may ask? You got that battle going on, and then these guys back here in this second pack that sit about 8 seconds off the lead. Lewis Woodall. About 5 or 6 cars all the way back to Christian Alagio in the 15th position right now. But we should see green flag pit stop here very shortly in this race. Pops out there to make a pass. And does. So moves Viguera up to the 9th position there with Woodall there in 10th. So just passing everywhere out here. But Alex Van de Sant continuing to lead. And there's Isaac Morse. And Dakota and Julian. Ah, gotcha. Okay, so you worked with him. I was just curious. And you guys have done a phenomenal job with those games. So congratulations on what you guys have worked on with him. Dakota's a bright young man, and I know you guys probably are. Oh, caution's out. I was going to say you guys are bright. Obviously, to be able to make video games like that, that's cool. Diego Moreno's the caution. He has wrecked it. Oh, the cool Team Cool Green. That car very notorious, or not notorious, I would say, but some historic things in the kart series back in the day. Looking. Doesn't say anything about Diego Moreno's paint in the details here, but you can obviously see the Team Cool Green. That is a old paint scheme from the Paul Tracy days. Who else ran that scheme? Was D'Amata part of that team, I think, at one point? Cristiano D'Amata? I'll have to check with... that's funny. All right, pit stop's happening. Here comes everybody. Now, you won't see the pit crew go to work here, but you'll see the car lift up there. Tires and fuel for everybody. Race off pit road, easily won by Alex Van de Sant. Gavin Sanders going to be second. How about Geisler coming off third? Obviously, the Moreno car who just wrecked came off in the middle there of that pack. So we'll see. It looks like maybe James Watson going to get a wave around here as he is in front and the leader. So is Gary Godso. Now Gary, he is running, and he's actually coming to pit road. Gary, the one to put this cheat sheet together for me, and I appreciate Gary for doing that for me. Running a paint scheme of Michael Andretti's. Of course, Michael in that 2000 race finished third in the 2001 championship. Had the one win at the Molson Indy in Toronto. Of course, returned to Indianapolis 2001 after a 6-year absence, qualified 21st and finished third. Led 431 laps at Indy, but of course, no wins as a driver. 5 IndyCar Indy 500 wins as an owner. Had 42 wins, third all time, 32 poles, and of course, the 91 Series champion in kart. Qualified 18th in this race. So there's the Michael Andretti livery there. They could if I held a button now. But they can't hear me right now. I could talk to drivers. The third caution out here in this race. Yeah, the only, basically for you guys, I know you're probably new to watching this, which is cool. Appreciate you being a part of this. I am in Discord, which the channel they're in. They're mostly different channels, though, but I have my own specific channel I'm in. So I'm actually in a spectated mode here on iRacing. I'm not actually in the race. So unless they made me an admin, which then I could push a button and talk to them if I wanted to on iRacing. Yeah, so they're all in their own specific channels and things like that. After the race, I'll be able to talk to them. But I'm sure they'll come back and watch this race later on tonight, and that's where you'll see Dakota say, hey, I saw what you guys were posting and things like that, and so on and so forth. Now, there is a chance that Dakota has to stream on another monitor. There are a lot of people that do that. They will stream the race they're on on like another monitor. So if I'm out here, if I'm broadcasting during a caution like this, Dakota could actually be listening or looking over, seeing who's chatting and things like that. The best way for me to tell if Dakota's watching this stream or not while we're racing is if, like right now, I said, Dakota, if you can hear my voice, swerve your car. And here in a few seconds when the delay goes through, if Dakota swerves his car, he's watching on the stream. I have not seen him swerve yet, so obviously he's not listening, so it's all good. All right, we're going to do something that you only normally see in a NASCAR broadcast. We have a series called Turn It Up. Well, at Texas Motor Speedway, and for those enjoying a Saturday night with a drink in hand and having a good old time, we're going to turn it up IndyCar style, Velocity Online Racing, and turning it up right now. Go from Texas Motor Speedway. Turn it up here in Velocity Online Racing, and Thomas Geisler doing everything he can to get this lead from Van de Zandt. He might have actually led that lap last time by. Wide open around here. I mean, eventually in the long run, if he saves his tires enough, look at Alex throwing a little defensive move there on Thomas. Down to turn 3. A little Pruitt fade on an oval. And again, shout out to Track Games 4 Gourmets if you're looking for cameras on oval road rally. VR experiences, not to mention fan packages and more. You can go to trackcams22.com. Their website link right there in the race info page in the YouTube channel. as we are just about 100 miles into this Texas Sunset Arctic Games 400 under the lights here. No Limits Texas, as these guys have been just fighting and doing everything they can to get track position. You got your top 11 drivers all within 2.5 seconds of the leaders. Geisler's going to lead that lap this time by. Can he get the run through the corner here to get the lead? He's on the outside. He's got the run. Is Isaac going to shoot the middle? No way. 3 wide in Texas. Oh, and they made contact. Geisler into Julian. Thomas Geisler, Julian Altada, unfortunately wreck on lap 67 of this race. And Isaac actually going to get the lead. Let's go back and see the replay. Oh, netcode actually. Actually, netcode in the end here now. Are they going to touch there? Maybe. But there is some big netcode. And Julian nowhere to go. The fourth caution comes out here. The caution out. Julian trying to get to pit road. Unfortunately, that car is destroyed down here on the inside wall. Well, less than 100 laps to go in this race. Isaac Morris, Alex Van de Sate, Gavin Sanders, Oscar Fredrickson, Dakota DeMay, your top 5. So just past the 100-mile mark in this 250-mile Morris, Van der Sant, Gavin, Oscar, Dakota, as I mentioned, your top 5. Unfortunately, you got some cars that have been taken out in some wrecks here. And this last one, very unfortunate. Some are going to say an aggressive move, but I think after the race, which I will say it was an aggressive move from Isaac, but when they see the replay, they are going to see a little bit of net code there. And of course, that question is going to look open now to say, would they have hit anyways, or would they have kept it away from each other? So that's just a very tough situation. For those who don't know, when you, sorry, just lost my train of thought here for a second. Netcode. And basically when, sorry, I'm going back and forth with the stream and stuff like that and things, but netcode is basically when two computers are arguing over who's where on the track. And when they don't, when the computers say, hey, we just hit each other, but they really haven't hit each other, it causes what they call netcode or all those different things. As we go back to the green, Isaac Moore is going to lead this race. Alex Van der Sant, Gavin Sanders, Oscar Fredrickson, Dakota DeMay, your top 5. Sudik up to 6th, Ty Richter, Lewis Woodall, Jose Miguel, Phillips Vigera, Christian Jasper, Craig Forsyth, Christian Alejo, AJ Musselman, your top 13. Those cars all on the lead lap here. A lot of these cars have stayed out. We did have Musselman come to pit road at lap 68. Trying to work that high line there on Gavin Sanders. Here comes Oscar, who's just kind of been laying back in that number 12 throughout the night. Being patient there, that Swedish driver. This race going to get kind of stretched out now. Laps to go, and you see Isaac now has, or Alex Van der Sant, I should say, has fallen back to the 4th position into the clutches of Nicholas Sudik there. And oh, Dakota shuts the door on Gavin. And he's going to try his turn at the lead. He's got the draft. Here he comes, high side. At the line, Isaac leads it barely. Yeah, Craig is, he definitely is a sleeper. He's one that will ride, and all of a sudden, hey, where'd he come from? But the thing is, I think we're going to see a lot more. I think we're going to see a green flag run here. Oh, no, I say that as one car wrecks on the back straightaway. I blew that one. Something told me not to say it, and I did. And Ty Richter wrecks off turn 2. Brings out the 5th caution. Ty, don't even try. It's done. I was just about to say, with the field thinning out now, I think the green flag run's going to come to the finish here. So, but it will not happen here as caution number 5 is out for Ty Richter in the number 33. Let's see what happens. Did he overcorrect the car maybe here? Up, gets loose, and oh boy. Ouch. So solo car spin here at lap number 80 brings out the 5th caution. Let's see what the leaders do this time by. Isaac stays out, Gavin stays out, and a lot of them are coming in. See what everybody has here. 4 tires, fuel, and you see Geisler still getting his car worked on. Dakota's actually going to race off pit road. But it looks like we have about 5 cars that have stayed out after this 5th caution. We'll return to the Texas Motor Speedway as you're watching the Texas Sunset Arctic Games 400 on Captain TV. All right, back in Texas, lap number 81. Julian Alton making a comment there in the chat. Unfortunately, with his luck, he did get that win at Phoenix last week, but unfortunately on the big tracks, he has struggled a ton this season. We're not going to get the green flag this time by. We'll get it next time by. Pace car lights are off. They're kind of chatting a little bit. They're actually asking Gary Gotso, who's in the race right now. Gary is 16th right now. Still 8 laps down. Gary's talking about Oscar's paint scheme being a favorite. Matter of fact, let's see. We'll listen to it a little bit here. Actually, I hit the wrong button. See if you can hear some of the chat going on in the race. Of course, they're going to...
I think Craig's car is the best, but he runs it every week anyway.
This is a completely different car than my normal car.
Completely different.
And Matt Houston, who's still in the race here, unfortunately out. As we come off of turn 4, we'll come back to the green flag here at lap number 83, right at halfway of this 250-miler. Isaac going to bring it down at a pretty slow pace. And there they go, back to green. That's going to allow these guys to be bunched up. See them all separating out 3-4 wide throughout the pack. How about 5th place here? Jose Miguel Phillips Viguera. Up 11 spots in that 23 car tonight. Did I not turn the cars back on? Oopsies, my bad. Thank you. I turn the audio off when the commercial comes on so you don't hear cars in the background. No, it was me. Car kind of smacked the wall there. I saw a spark. As to the inside comes the 87 of Nicholas Sadiq. Sadiq been one of the more consistent drivers in the series. And here he is up in the top 5 once again. That rookie driver doing a great job. Now let's see if these guys just get into a rhythm here. And run some laps here. We're down to 80 to go already. AJ Musselman, another quiet driver here in at number 54. That's another paint that we haven't had a chance to talk about this evening. Musselman is running. Doesn't actually say, but he is running a throwback tonight. Unfortunately, is that the I don't know what that is off the top of my head. I'll have to ask Gary. He's want to help me out on that one. But somebody from that 2000 race. But AJ running right now in the 9th position. There's AJ. And, I guess follow him on Twitter right there. At AJ Musselman or Instagram, one of the two. Instaface, whatever we call it today. I don't do that stuff. I do social media for Captain TV. Of course, you can follow us on Twitter and Facebook. Oh, by the way. Lap times around here, 24 seconds. Speeds of over 215 miles an hour as Oscar looks underneath. Dakota DeMay takes the position away. Alex Van de Sande hovering around right there in the 5th position. Down the back straightaway, you see the weaving going on. Everybody trying to just draft and protect their position. The bottom line is the fastest way, but that high line, I think more and more in turn 1 and 2 is becoming an asset, especially on the older tires in this run when these tires get up to temp. Blue Violet Oscar, you see him up here kind of venturing up middle of the high groove here. this was actually one of the funner races that I ran last week, in a couple of races that I run each week. The Texas race, I finished 5th in it and felt like I had a car that actually could compete for the win. And I ran that high groove the majority of the time in turn 1 and 2 and was able to slingshot down the back straightaway to the inside of the other car by the time I got off of the turn. And it's a move I think that later in this race you're going to start to see when these guys start to wear out tires, and depending on the tools and stuff that they use, where they got their car set up at, and so on and so forth. As Isaac Morris continuing to lead, there's Gavin to the outside with Alex Van de Sande also there. Dakota drops to the bottom. Now again, next week we'll be off again with VOR, but in 2 weeks we'll be back at Road America, which will be a fun race coming up on Saturday in 2 weeks on the 22nd of May as we get ready for the Indianapolis 500 here in the month of May, the actual Indy 500, by the way. So you got 6 cars all in a draft here. Then you got 1 car on its own back here, just kind of hanging on to the tail of this draft. And then AJ Musselman, Christian Alesio back there with Christian Jasper. Those 11 cars, the only ones left on the lead lap in this race right now. Could you imagine if they had like Mario Kart tools in this? You can throw the turtle at somebody or hit the star on them, just ride through the field. All the hounds right here ready to pounce on Isaac. Burping the throttle, doing a good job in that clean air. Allows everybody to separate out. You can see the difference in the clean air and the turbulence in this field. You see Dakota starting to fall back on that high side. Here comes the 10 of Gavin Sanders. Isaac Morris leading. Alex Van de Sande there in 3rd. You mentioned Forsyth. Yep, he's up to the 7th spot, and he is in this pack. Right there, that blue and white car inside of Dakota. Again, if you guys aren't doing anything tonight, we, of course, invite you to join us after this race at about 9:45 in about an hour. We'll be live for USRC Racing from Michigan Speedway, the Sunset Arctic Games Grand National Series. Julian, you got another race to get ready for. Well, let me turn your microphone on here because nobody can hear you. Julian, you had a tough break there, and I don't know if you've had a chance to review the accident, but looked like a good portion of netcode involved in that. But it still, is that something that too aggressive maybe at that point, or is that just, you know, part of this racing, what it produces? He had to run, he had to go for it.
Well, I was behind the top 3 really caused the incident. There was only 3 wide ahead into turn 1, and like you said, there was some net code there, so it was an unfortunate incident. My first glance at the incident is it is. Was it necessary to race that high? I personally don't. It is what happened, and it is what it is. So, yeah.
We'll talk about the cars out here. This very interesting race. I know a lot of people seem to think that Texas Motor Speedway has been ruined when it comes to IndyCar racing because of the change in the track, and of course they threw down the whatever you want to call it, because there's so many different names for it. I've learned from a NASCAR driver that I have talked to many times, it's called jelly to them. You know, obviously you're still getting this 2-3 wide racing, but turn 1 they're getting kind of spread out, but otherwise it's more of this single file kind of a train you draft up into turn 1 maybe to try to make a pass.
Yeah, when we arrived at track, we looked at different iRacing, they did a great job with I believe in the most recent update, they changed the grip levels on every track for every car too, so a lot more grip in general on every track, and that is really what's promoting the racing you see right now, especially in the beginning of the stint. You're going to see drivers really in a pack of cars. It is real pack racing in the beginning of the stint, but as the tires go off, you're going to see cars going to the highest starting to get clean air on the introduction, so it's crucial to get the car to turn. I had a few cases in the race where my car picked up so much that I almost hit the wall there, so it was quite close, but yeah, I kept it out of it until the incident, of course.
Well, I actually found a way. I was just talking about, I ran the C fixed race last week when they were here, and I actually found a way to run that high line, kind of like you see who's at the 87 going up there to run that line there, Sadiq, and I found a way to make it work. Actually, it was able to get this huge run down the corner, and you were able to almost slingshot to the inside of the other car and get the run down to turn 3 and 4. Do you think eventually that's what we see here as these tires wear out?
Yeah, naturally when the tires go off, you're going to push up a lot more, so if you take the corner wider, you're going to run through the turn, so the line is more consistent, the grip is more consistent. So yeah, you're going to see that line come into play. I think it's already come into play. When the tires go off, you really want to go to the higher side, get the momentum up the corner, and use that, and really get some good drafting and passing going on.
Now, for those who are like, well, wait a minute, isn't the bottom side the fastest? As I think we're at pit stops here in a second. Yes, it technically is, but if you're up here where Sadiq is, you're not turning the wheel as much. So it's not scrubbing off as much speed, so you're able to carry more speed and more momentum down the corner, hence where he's able to hold off the position. Yes, Isaac Morris going to come to pit road into 1, and this is always dangerous, entering off turn 3. Very slick and down to 45 mile an hour, I believe, is the pit road speed limit here.
Yes, it is.
And they will roll down pit road here, and probably feels like you're crawling at this point. Able to get a drink, whatever you need to do at this point. You got the speed limiter on that they use in the Indy cars. And he will pull into his pit stall. He'll fill up the tank here. Now there's 55 laps to go, and I believe he is going to be a little bit short. Now caution is out. Trouble on the track for Jose Miguel Phillips Figuera.
That really messed up Isaac, because he's in the pits right now. He's going to lose a lot of time to the leaders, perhaps even a lap.
Yeah, he's already gone a lap down. But Jose has brought out the caution, and this changes everything.
You have to think championship too, because the code
Yeah, that is going to be a very interesting situation points-wise. You mentioned there's only 4 races left after tonight. And one thing you don't want to do, especially when you're in a situation where you're splitting up the races. You had Phoenix 2 weeks ago. You have tonight, and then you have another 2 weeks before the next race at Road America. You got to be very careful, because you do not want to sit there for 2 weeks and be like, what could have been? And I think I just caused Julian to go look at the schedule and realize, oh wait, there is another week off, isn't there?
No, I'm just looking at the standings to see where the people are, and I just want to correct myself. Dakota's actually 6th in the points.
Oh.
Isaac's nearest rival is Shane Coogan with 1 point difference, and I don't think Shane is here.
No, he's definitely not here tonight. He left a message at the beep.
2001 throwback, right?
Right. So let's see what happened to Jose real quickly here. Turn one on the back straight a little way. It looks like it's going to happen turn 3. Let me share my screen with you so you can see what I'm looking at here, Julian, and we'll get that. Oh, he was coming to pit road and coming a little too fast, I'd say.
Yeah, very easy to do. When you enter the pitch, you ideally want to set the bars to 6-1 to generate the most understeer in the car. Then also go to a negative number on the weight jacker. In clean air and in the dirty air, you're running around -8 already. So I would say go around -20 entering the pits at full speed, but maybe Jose forgot to do that, or just didn't know that he should have done that. And yeah, of course, when you go into the corner like that, of course the surface on the apron is flat, so you're gonna easily spin out the car with the Speedway aero kit that you have on these cars. little to no downforce you have on the car, so it's easy to spin out. And if you don't have the right car settings, you're gonna spin out in no time.
That's kind of funny. You say go 6-1 on the bars. I run 6-1 on the norm. It seems like in these cars because I don't know. It just seems comfortable to me. But you know, of course,
I was running that too.
Yeah, see, and you know what? And I'll go and share it. When I ran this track in the race, I ran 6-1, and I think I was at +4 the majority of the run, especially in the pack. I don't know, like with the setup difference here, what you guys are running. Obviously, you don't have to share that, but I will go ahead and share. That's what I was running, and it was very comfortable to me. And usually, I've learned from drivers to go 6-1 and go +10 to start, just to have a base. And when I came off I went into turn 3 and the thing just spun around. I'm like, okay, I got to go down. But
yeah, I won't tell you the exact details of the setup, but I can assure you that we weren't running +10 on the way jacker at all.
somewhere between 1 and 10 he was running. So
Not that, no.
now I will say at certain tracks that was +10, and it worked out pretty decently, but we'll have to see. I haven't had a chance to run. I'm actually probably, depending on how I feel at the end of the other broadcast, we will. I might end up running the C-Fix race tonight. I have not had a chance to run this week, and I've actually run every race so far during this was it second season of iRacing for 2021. So, hey, let's take a look at this. AJ Musselman, and you might be able to help me out with this. I was trying to figure this one out, and Gary made a cheat sheet for me. What is this throwback livery to AJ's running? Because I don't have that in the notes.
Yeah, I think I have the same notes as you have.
Oh, so you don't know either.
Yeah.
Thanks, Gary. You had one job. Anyways.
Very difficult to keep up with everything. So
Wait,
I don't really blame him.
Gary knows everything. That's one thing I've learned about Gary. He will find me everything I need to know. You know what I could do is go look up the 2000 Texas race real quick and get the answer. Might be a bad idea.
Do that as well, yeah.
Yeah, let's see. As he comes to pit road now, which this could be an interesting strategy, Julian. Can he go 51 laps?
If you say fuel behind the draft, yes, but I think because people have become really aggressive halfway into the race already, I think there's going to be another yellow, so you don't really need to say fuel.
I'm going to disagree with you a little bit on that one because I feel that the cars are so spread out now and the field is very thin that I don't know if you're necessarily going to see another caution here. I mean, I was surprised to see that one there only because of what happened with the pit stop deal.
Maybe. We'll have to wait and see, though. But of course, we have how many laps is it left?
50, exactly 50 next time by.
Yeah, 50 laps to go. So people are going to be a lot more aggressive because they know that this is going to be one of the last restarts, so they need to get a move on. So I think you'll see some action here. But as the league admin, of course, I hope that we don't see a caution. But yeah.
So I'm taking a look at some of the paints here. I'm actually looking at the 2001 Firehawk 600, the race that never happened. And this was the race that Breck won the pole for at 22.854. It was postponed due to changes in safety, as Alex Van de Sant's going to be back in the lead as we come back to the green. I'm going to continue to research this, see if I can figure out who had what paint schemes here. We'll get that Musselman paint scheme figured out. As a very, very interesting restart there. A couple cars had to check up, but Alex is gone. Nicholas Sadiq up to second. Gavin Sanders third. Craig Forsyth, who those Sunset boys have been watching a little bit here tonight. Watching his track as he comes up through the field. And Oscar Fredrickson, who has been running somewhere about 4th to 5th all night. He has not left those two positions.
Yeah, Oscar likes being in the mid-pack, kind of at the front, but not really. We just want to see what the front guys do. Of course, we saw the incidents early on where I was involved. He's trying to avoid those.
Craig just caught the wall there. You saw the sparks fly off the wall there, turn 2. Hopefully Craig's okay and didn't hurt anything on that car. But, yeah, Oscar's kind of playing that possum roll. Just kind of hanging back a little bit, and then when the time comes, boom, to the front he goes. Now let's watch this line that Sadiq is running into turn 1. I mean, he is nearly running what we call in stock cars the Larson line. He's up at the top. The problem is here is while you're wide open, it's not going to help you, but you see him carry the speed down the straightaway, though.
Yeah, he just cleared that car as well there.
And that's because
Side by side.
well, and that's because like I talked about with the way iRacing is set up, and you think about the stock cars, when you're up here at the top, he is not turning the wheel nearly as much in the corner, and because of that, his speed stays up, and it allows him to carry the speed down the straightaway because it is a longer radius up there on the track. As look at this, he takes the lead. Nicholas Sudik with a power move.
He knows how to run the high side. Last time out in Phoenix, I ran side by side with him for the final lap.
Yes.
He was on the outside. He did basically the same what I did to Gavin with 2 laps today. On the outside, takes momentum off of the corners and really gets a good run on the leaders.
Now let me throw this to you, Julie. Did Alex give up the lead purposely there, maybe to save fuel? Well, I guess never mind. He has answered the question for me.
Yeah, they're battling for the lead right now.
They are battling. Well, I was wondering if it was a fuel thing. That's why I'm like, are they saving fuel right now? But nah, they're going for it now. Do you think these guys are all running the same fuel mix maybe right now?
I think there's not going to be too much difference. Fuel at one in the back, trying to get a move on. But I think Alex personally is in that right now. Just having a little bit. He still wants the engine power to work to his advantage, but I think because he's in the lead, he's punching the lead, so he wants to save a little bit if he can. But also the fuel mix.
43 laps to go in this race.
You see Isaac working on Jose Miguel in the back for P9. Just fast.
Get off my screen. Actually, just doing something here really quickly as we talk. And yeah, just great fighting all the way around this track.
The real life races last weekend.
Oh, well, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, you can only control so much in those kind of deals, you know.
True.
It just unfortunately, you had a very slick track, especially once you got out of the groove, and it's something that unfortunately was out of their control.
Yeah, we saw Will Power run up in the PJ1 there, and completely killed the front suspension of the car.
The old, he said PJ1. There you go. That's the proper name of this stuff. Is PJ1.
The thing is, I know the name, but what does PJ1 even stand?
I don't even know what it stands for, to be honest with you. I really don't know.
We're all in the same boat there. It's a bit to the inside of Forsyth there.
Yeah, Sanders going to make the move. Yep. No, you're fine.
Right now, it's a Team LMC gear 1-2. Greg Forsyth and Alex Van der Sande on the same team from Team Harrow, who's not racing tonight, unfortunately.
Yeah, Jim, unfortunately, not here this evening. And unfortunate deal there is Gavin, Sadiq, and Fredrickson, your top 5.
The VOR team had a good run there. Team Raceverse also had a pretty solid run. So Team LMC dropped a few positions in the team championship last time out in Phoenix. But right now, they should be able to make some good gains on the Velociano Racing team and Team Raceverse.
And talk a little bit about the team points, not to put you on the spot there. How do you guys score those team points, for those curious?
So the teams have a maximum of 4 drivers that can be on the same team. Top 2 highest scoring drivers in the race score the points towards the team championship. So right now, it's correct Forsyth. So yeah, those 2 drivers score the points then. That is really to kind of make the team's championship more fair. We had all drivers for season 1 and season 2, and that really showed in the team championship as well, because Team VOR had 4 drivers, Raceverse also had 4 drivers, and those 2 teams were the only teams with 4 drivers, so of course those 2 teams. And for season 3 last season, it's been decided to change up the rules to open up the team play a little bit too. to allow teams with 2 drivers or 3 drivers to compete for the championship also. Of course, there's a $50 prize for the championship winning team, so something to fight for also.
There you go. In a nutshell, that's how it all is put together for the series championship. So it's made the points battle very tight here, but now we're working on about 20 laps or so into this run. Alex Van de Sant leading by about a half second. So now this is where you're going to start to see the tires. They've hit their temperature, and now the fall off will start. We've gotten what we call the quote-unquote pack part of the race. Now it's the handling. Now you got to have your tools all set up in the right spot here, and you see Forsyth about clip the wall, but the field's starting to really spread itself out.
Yeah, I think because Craig hit the wall early on in the race, he has some slight damage to the suspension, but that's not too bad. Right now he's just trying to hold everybody back for Alex. Of course, like I mentioned, the two are on the same team, so they want to help each other as much as possible. And right now Craig is doing a great job to hold on to P2, but we see Sadiq going to the high side again. Really flirting with danger there up to the outside wall, but making it work so far.
Well, there, Gavin Sanders made a little sneaky move to the inside and is going to make the pass for the 3rd position. So Gavin looking really good in that 10 car as he tries to get that first official win in his VOR career. He won the Road America exhibition race earlier this season, but of course, as you know, exhibition or preseason races don't count.
Not for the championship, no. But yeah, we all know that Gavin's caliber of driving, it is easily capable of winning races, just hasn't quite had the luck or the strategy to make it work. So Gavin is going to win one day. It's just a matter of when.
And that is all up to the iRacing gods, as they like to say. But Gary Gottsel going a lap down, or another lap down, I should say. He is currently 10 down, but running in the 13th position. He stayed out there, and he has persevered after wrecking there on lap number 1.2, I think, officially. He wrecked off of turn 4 in the first lap. As Oscar trying to hold off Dakota DeMay, your sponsor here in this Sunset Arctic Games number 82. Dakota running up there on that top side himself, bringing it back down here, see if he can get the draft and cross over. Oscar not close enough to do so. So what was the max fuel you were seeing out there, Julian, when you were in the car? What were you seeing stint-wise you think people could go? Because I'm sitting there curious to know if these guys can really go 53 laps.
Yeah, I'm going to talk in liters right here, so this is a bit confusing for you maybe.
Oh, it's going to be big time.
I was making about 1.3 liters a lap, so if you would add that up, or divide that, by 70, because that's the fuel tank limit, you will make about 55 laps, but that was in traffic, saving a lot of fuel in map 3. So I think in clean air, Alice is going to be able to make about 48, 49 laps, but like I said earlier, he's punching the air for everybody else, so he's probably going to be running map 2 or 3 as well. Just trying to save as much as he can, because he is in front right now, and the dirty air is a pretty big deal right now when the tires go off too. So I think if Alex can just stay ahead and take the air off Gavin's wing, because that's going to be crucial to keep Gavin behind as well, Alex should be in a good shot at winning, because like I said, if he is driving in map 2 or 3, he should be able to make it to the end. But being in the draft definitely helps a lot.
So do you want to be Alex Van de Sant, or do you want to be AJ Musselman, who... Oh, Craig Forsyth goes around, inside wall, back straight away. Throw that out the window. It's gone. Caution's out. And unfortunately, we just spent the last 5 minutes of our lives wasted talking about gas.
Well, I guess this is perfect timing to answer your question. I think I would like to be Alex Van de Sant right now.
Now, yes. I mean, there's the obvious answer. I mean, I almost think I would rather have been Musselman, though, before that yellow.
Before the yellow came out, yes. It was a bit scary though for him. Happened just in front of him, but everybody got through it, except Craig, of course, unfortunately.
Now, Craig, as you know, had been flirting with that outside wall more and more and more, and there, I think he just had the wheel cranked way too much, as he had to keep it off of the Sadiq car on the outside, and the back end just swapped ends. And snap loose and caution out. Craig Forsyth behind the wall. Unfortunately.
Yeah. It's been mentioned a number of times as well on the real-life broadcast. The banking drops off onto the back straightaway, of course. So the transition from the banking to the back straightaway, it's very tricky for these cars if you have too much wheel input, as many cars are pitting except Alex. He's staying out, so he wants track position. But when you come off the banking, it's very easy to upset the balance of the car when you have too much wheel in it. And that's exactly what happened to Craig, unfortunately. But yeah, everybody else in the pits right now taking fresh tires and fuel.
Now, in fairness, for those who might think, well, that's an excuse the way this new track used. No, the old track had the same kind of fall off of that banking, the old transition there at Texas Motor Speedway. So, you can't really say that, yeah, that's a new feature of this track. This track has always had that transition in turn 2.
Yeah, really every 1.5 mile oval with 24 degrees of banking has it. Of course, with the reconfiguration of this track in 2017, that issue, I guess, has been made a little bit less of a struggle for these drivers, but it is still a pretty big thing. But out of turn 4, you have the same thing, although it is better because the radius of the corner for turns 3 and 4 is a little less because, of course, you have the dog legs, I guess, or the tri-oval,
Nope,
however you want to call
dog
it.
legs.
Well, so the exit is a bit straighter.
Well, the one thing, if you go watch a race if you go run at Charlotte or Atlanta, tracks that look similar to this, you'll notice that when you come off turn 2, every one of those tracks are entirely different from the other. Charlotte has kind of a banked back straightaway, so you come off, it's not as much of a fall off. Atlanta kind of loops around. It's more of the corner? More of a looping, I guess, onto the back straightaway. You're almost not straight for a while. Where Texas, I mean, it's almost like somebody pulls the rug out from underneath you and just falls out and it's flat.
Yes.
So 24 laps to go. 7th caution in this Texas Sunset Arctic Games 400 as Alex Van Desant tries to win this thing from the pole. And what has been a fantastic race. Tons of different leaders and lead changes. Now, Alex Van Desant going to be on some 28-lap older tires than the second-place car, which is actually going to be the 4th car in line, Gavin Sanders. So, how do you play this out if you're Alex? You got 2-lap cars immediately behind him. Now, I'm assuming they're going to get out of the way. But if they don't, how do you play this to take advantage?
Go, go, go. That's the only way to do it.
With the fuel mileage.
Well, I think with this yellow, Alex is going to be fine, though. Do you have the information about what his last pit lap was?
His last pit lap, 1:14. So he is working lap number 30, if I'm doing the math right. 24, 140. Yeah, he's going to be on lap number 30 right now as he crosses the line.
Yeah, I think he's going to have to save 1 lap of fuel in total to make it to the end. But with this lap cars in the way, like, regardless if they move over or not, Alex is going to have some distance between him and Gavin Sanders. So that distance between them two is going to help Alex, of course. He can save fuel for maybe 2 laps until Gavin's got the back of him. So I don't think Alex is really going to have to save that much. Of course, only 1 lap. So it's not really going to have too many difficulties doing that.
All right, so pace car lights are out. We'll go back racing here at 23 laps to go. Seen 7 cautions, as I mentioned. We got 9 cars on the lead lap. James Watson has fought his way back at the top 10 after being involved in some accidents. And let's see who else is on the track that's lapped down. Jose Miguel Phillips Figuera, Gary Godso. Looks like Moreno's behind the wall. Looks like he's all done, and everybody else pretty much behind the wall. Done with tonight's race, so the field is thinned out. Let's see who has the proper settings and the proper setup to get to the checker flag here at Texas Motor Speedway. And Moreno's already moved down here to the bottom lane, so I'm guessing he's getting out of the way. Let's see what the 39 does, because the 39 is only 2 laps down. Bearing something happening, he's still got technically a shot here at getting back to the lead lap. He just needs to get Alex and pass him somehow.
Yes.
And here we go. Alex is gone on the green flag, on the loud pedal, I should say. If he's on the green flag, that's nothing good.
Watch AJ Musselman on this restart. He's the one to go, I think.
Yeah. And I think Gavin Sanders, he's going to have to make some moves here as he's already draft past Moreno. Here comes Nicholas Sudik to the inside. So these lap cars being very respectful so far, and they have every right to be up here. So let's see if James Watson takes advantage of the draft here. He's going to try to go to the high side on Alex. Doesn't have the speed, but he's going to try that high line as Gavin goes to the bottom. Down the back straightaway they go.
Gavin's got a good chance to win this one right now. Right behind Alex. Alex has to save more fuel than Gavin, I believe, because Gavin pitted on the last yellow. So Gavin is going to be good to go to the end, and he goes to the outside there.
He's got the fresher tires too.
Yeah, outside there.
He should be able to pull this off. I'm thinking, here comes Sudik up there on that high side, the Larson line, making it work.
The momentum is key here. Gavin to the outside again here for 3 and 4.
Oh, Alex got a little loose. He clipped the apron, I think, a little bit there.
Yep. Gavin just needs to stay where he is right now, and he's going to pull this one off into turns 1 and 2. I'm pretty confident in that.
And 19 laps to go in this race. And Alex Van de Sant, Gavin Sanders, Nicholas Sudik.
That's hanging tough on the inside. I didn't really expect him to hold the line that well. But Sudik is right there too.
You got 5 cars within a half second of the lead in this race.
Oscar's coming also. Currently running in 4th position. He's looking for a strong finish also.
You mentioned Musselman there in the 6th position. Alejo there in 7th. He's having a great run. Great racing here as they all fight for a Texas win. Isaac Morse, go ahead.
Alex Van der Sant currently has 5 wins in this series. 2 wins behind me in the all-time wins list. Looking to add another one to that. Gavin is looking to add his first to that list. We also had Cohen Evans win at Homestead. So first-time winners this season.
Yeah, they've been very popular this season, those first-time winners throughout. And, of course, when you only have an 8 or 9 race season, those wins are pretty hard to come by, I should say. But Oscar trying to do what he has to do right now. Oscar, he's a 3-time winner in this series. You got Isaac Morris back there. Isaac actually is a 5-time winner along with Alex, so they're trying to break that tie for 2nd. And then you got guys who have not won a race back here in this pack. AJ Musselman, Nicholas Sudik. So you got tons of drivers in contention here to get a Texas Motor Speedway win. 15 laps to go.
Fredrickson does not have a win, by the way. That's Gonzalez who has 3 wins.
Wrong one. Too many Oscars.
That's true. Too many Oscars.
AJ holding that pretty wheel right there into turn 3 and 4. You can see no matter what the banking is, you're pretty much wide open through turn 3 and 4. But here you're checking up. Probably down to 4th gear here with that dirty air. Sudik, the only one running that ultimate high line, which I think is going to pay off for him. He tries to cross over Isaac. Isaac, defensive move there. He kind of saw it coming.
This is going to get really interesting really quickly. Alex, of course, close on fuel. Gavin Sanders is good to go on fresh tires as well. And of course, Isaac going for the championship, currently leading it by 1 point over Shane Coogan.
Isaac able to hold off in there, or Isaac able to move to 2nd as he gets by with Alex Van de Sant there in the lead. Sanders, Sudik. They're just shuffling it out here in the top 6. Christian Alejo, unfortunately, 3.5 back. I don't know if he's got some damage or something, but he was unable to hold on to this pack. Close racing everywhere. So they're going to come to 10 laps to go. We are shaping up for another one of those famous Texas Motor Speedway finishes. Back in here.
Isaac is running in the Hornish paint, and Hornish, of course, known for the photo finishes in the IRL days.
Yeah, no kidding, right? Usually it was him and Helio Castro Neves that would make those kind of finishes, or Scott Sharp, or Al Unser, or whoever.
I think it was Barron also in, what was it, 2001?
Ah, yes, yep.
I'm surprised I knew that. Wow.
That's okay. When you do your research, you know. But 9 laps to go in this race. As Isaac tries to hold him off. I say Isaac. I keep calling Alex Isaac, Isaac Alex. I don't know why. Alex tries to hold off Isaac. Oh,
It's easy to get confused in your voice when the excitement kicks in.
Yeah, right. Especially I was watching Sadiq there. I'm like, oh, don't make that move.
Want to point out Christian Alessio's great performance, by the way. P7 right now.
Oh, he's done a great job, yeah.
Normally not this far up the field, and I don't mean that in a real way, but he's doing a real good job right now tonight. P7. Even if he finishes there, he's going to be really happy, I can tell you that much. As Sanders goes to the lead on the outside now.
Can he hold it, though? Because that inside line is going to drag the shortest way around. Let's see if he can do... He can hold him off here right across the line. This is going to get tight. 6 to go.
Gavin's got to start thinking about maybe trying to squeeze Alex to the inside of the track, but I think he just wants to play it safe for now at least. Maybe he wants to keep that tactic to get the position, as I have a nice voice crack, for the final 2 or 3 laps.
Pulling a little bit of a Pruitt fade there as they come across the line. 5 laps to go. Sadiq looking to that outside.
Oh, error was for Gavin. Sadiq going to get a good run on Isaac here. Gavin defends the inside there. Sadiq to the outside. The momentum is definitely on the inside line though.
How do you make a move here? And there's maybe this is the way to make the move. Tandem up a little bit here. Sadiq going to push Gavin to the outside.
Keep your foot in it, Gavin.
Yeah, you got to remember handling now playing a role. It's amazing. Oh, the crossover. Nice move. It's amazing that Alex has been able to hold on for all these laps with these tires.
It really is. That was a big defensive maneuver on the back straightaway there.
How much has clean air helped his tires, actually, as I think about that more, as Isaac goes to the bottom. 3 laps to go. Do you dare go to the apron to make like an Indy 500 type move?
I think you're going to end up like Hurt and Dixon 2 years ago, though, so I don't think you want to try that.
We don't want that. Gavin trying to make the move there. Still Alex at the line. Nicholas is continuing to pound that outside line to see if he can get the run he needs. Gavin to the outside in turn 3 and 4. Does he squeeze him here? He does not. He's not even going to get to the side by, or get to his wing, I guess. As they come to the white flag. Final lap here, Texas.
I don't think Gavin's got anything for Alex. Sadiq to the outside though. Gonna have a look.
Amazing.
No. Gonna stay behind.
Alex Van de Sant coming off turn 4. Will it be tires or will it be track position? Nicholas trying to make a move to the outside with Gavin. Coming to the stripe, it is Van de Sant. The strategy holds off. 6th career win. And 3/100ths of a second. Alex Van de Sant able to hold on with the older tires and the fuel to win this race.
I believe he moves up into 4th in the standings as well. Quick math there.
Alex burning it down there in that Happy Trails chili mix. Of course, the night of a throwback race, one of the guys without a throwback wins. Does a little bit of a donuts and celebrates his win as we take a look at the final results here. Julian, blink or close your eyes here. Alex Van de Sant wins this thing by 4/100ths of a second. Sadiq finishing in the 3rd spot. Isaac Morris, Oscar Fredrickson, your top 5. A.J. Musselman finishes 6th. Christian Alejo, 7. Christian Jasper, good run, finishing 8th. Dakota DeMay finished in the 9th spot. They're kind of struggling at the end of this race. James Watson, 10th. Jose Viguera, 11th. Gary Gonso, 12th. Craig Forsyth, 13th. Diego Pereno, 14th. Ty Richter, 15th. Lewis Woodall, 16th. Thomas Geisler and Julian, 18th there. Those guys there looked really good and really sporty in this race also this evening. Joel Harleman, 19th. Anthony Concha, 20th. 21st, Matt Houston. Antonio Estrada, 22nd and last, unfortunately, in tonight's race. Very unfortunate deal there, as we will go to victory lane here in just a second. But first, we're actually going to step away for a quick second and hear from our sponsor, of course, Sunset Arctic Games, the sponsor of tonight's Texas 400. All right, back at Texas Motor Speedway as we wrap up here the Texas Sunset Arctic Games 400 here at this 1.5 mile speedway. Of course, living up to great finishes, and that's exactly what it did this evening in the race. Now, before we talk to our top 3 finishers in the race, of course, Julian Alton joins us, and as you know, when he does not have a good finish, he's up here and helps me out with the broadcast and stuff, and he's actually got an update on a series that's going to be kicking off here very soon. Real quick, Julian.
Yeah, so it's been a while in the making. We've had some weeks taken off the schedule there, but we are now back with the Formula One Championship on iRacing for Velocity Online Racing. Sign-ups are open on our Discord. The season starts on the 4th of June at the... forgot the schedule already. So excited. But season starts 4th of June. We have a pre-season race at Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya on the 21st of May. So you can join that. The races are on Fridays at 5 p.m. Eastern US time. So you can join that series if you are a open-wheel Formula One fan. So yeah, the sign-ups are open for that. We also have a NASCAR Cup Series League that is on Thursdays at 6 p.m. Eastern time. So you can check that out too. And of course, if you would like to join the IndyCar Series, you can also do that. Current season ongoing next week. 2 weeks from now, Road America on the... what is it 2 weeks from now?
22nd.
It is the 15th. 22nd, yes. Thank you, Chris.
No
So we've got that coming up too. Discord links are on our website as well as our Twitter. So if you want to follow us on Twitter at VelocityOR, that's it.
There you go. So make sure you go join that series. It's going to be a lot of fun as they come up here in a couple weeks. They'll get going and should be a lot of fun. All right, let's get our winner up here, Alex Van Desant, who joins us in the booth. His 6th career victory, first on the season. Alex, congratulations. What an up-and-down race that was for you, but we got to ask the bold strategy. What told you to stay out and keep that track position, and how much did you have to fight to hold on there?
Thanks. Well, according to the 130 laps before, it was physically impossible to pass the leader, so I figured, whatever I do, the field is going to do the opposite, so, might as well roll the dice, keep that track position, and if it works out, then it works. And it did. Yeah,
I think as I think back now, we only had one, official pass for the lead completed. on that outside lane. But talk about the racing out there, because we obviously, with the new build, had a very spread out turn 1 and 2. I mean, I think Sudik, has reinvented the high lane in the IndyCar and we're going to call it the Sudik line, I think, for the rest of time. And there's just so many cars everywhere, especially through turn 1 and 2.
Oh yeah, clean air was at a total premium. There wasn't a whole lot of grip on the front, so there wasn't a whole lot of grip on the front. So if you could get even just a sliver of clean air, you'd have a lot more speed off the corner. And he did a great job holding that outside line. I tried it once or twice and just couldn't make it work. So well done to him.
The guy who usually runs the high line the whole entire time could not run the high line. That's interesting to hear. Well, Alex, nice job out there. Congratulations on the win, and shout-outs to whoever you like to as you move into second on the all-time VOR win list.
Oh, yeah. Big thanks to Happy Trails Chili Company, as usual, as well as elmseeger.com, Globex Racing Paints, and thanks to you for doing the broadcast here.
Absolutely. Well, great job, Alex. Congratulations, man. Best of luck, and we'll see you next week, or 2 weeks.
Thanks.
Absolutely. Alex Van der Sand joining us as he is in victory lane tonight in the Happy Trails Chili Mix car. And we'll, thank you. And let's go get our second place driver, Gavin Sanders, who runner-up in this race and comes so close again to win number 1. He did everything he could tonight. And Gavin, did it shock you that 30-lap newer tires you could not get past Alex?
I think I timed my runs a little bit poorly, just a little bit too optimistic with how old I thought his tires were.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, you can't really do much in that position. Even trying to cross over and everything, it's just you're not gonna have anywhere to go on the back straight, and then you try to go through the tri-oval, and as we saw earlier, it didn't really end well when people were pushing the issue.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's really tough. Even with brand new tires, like you'd think you'd have a little bit more mobility, but yeah, P2, not too bad, that's for sure.
Well, still a great run, as you mentioned, and another good points night, another great finish for you as you run your rookie season here.
Yeah, I don't think I'm a rookie, but
it's got the R there, so I'm going with the R.
Yeah, it might say that, but yeah, no, really solid season we're putting together. Us as a team, and me myself, definitely a lot better than last season, a lot more consistent, and hopefully we can keep it going.
We did a great job there, Gavin, the not rookie, in the second position there. Said shout-outs to whoever you like to.
Big shout-out to Team VOR. Big shout-out to Braden Tire, Stilo, Alpine Stars, Fat Bastard Burrito, and yeah, everybody on the team. Tonight was a big teamwork race, so we definitely ended on a high.
Well, great job this evening, Gavin. Congratulations on the second place run. We'll talk in 2 weeks.
Sounds good. See you then.
You too, bud. Gavin Sanders finishing in the second position this evening as we get our third place finisher, Nicholas Sudik, up here and bring him up here to chat with us. Nick, I got to ask the obvious question here. Do you realize that you have now invented something in an IndyCar that has got your own name to it probably now?
Oh, God, Chris, I'm scared to ask. What is it?
Well, of course, in NASCAR we have the Larson line. IndyCar, I think we now have officially the Sudik line, which is up against the wall. Nick, you did run a lane that is pretty similar to what I ran, actually, in the C-Fix race. I know that's something you probably found in practice, but that line seemed to work all night long, that high line. Talk about that and talk about your third-place finish.
So, yeah, like, I was just talking with Alex in the green room about this. Like, the only thing that I could see, or the only person that I could see doing it consistently was Dakota, and that was early on. But even he and just about everybody else that attempted it were so fearful. There's a little undulation, like a little bump right at the end of right out of 2. And if you hit it in one of these cars on light fuel, the worn tires, you're done. That's actually the incident that happened with Craig. Craig got alongside of me. I think it was like the last caution, next to last caution, and he hit it, and then he spun right in front of me. I got a netcode 2x for car contact, but it didn't hit my car. I didn't feel anything. I felt bad for him, but yeah, that's even running a lower line. That bump up top, that would get everybody, but yeah, I made it work.
Yeah, you did a fantastic job, and it might have been a settings too that you did when it's all over with. But I mean, this has got to be a great point tonight because you've been pretty consistent throughout the season, running right up here in the front and getting good finishes.
Yeah, yeah, it feels really good. Back-to-back podiums is nothing to slouch at. Obviously, I would not be humble if I didn't say otherwise. But yeah, I'm just very thankful that I've been able to chain a couple really good results, getting good points, trying to climb up the ladder. Ultimately, you know, really aiming for that top 5 at the end of the season here coming up, and I think it's gonna be looking pretty good. Yeah, it just feels really good. I got my confidence back in oval racing, which is good. Something I kind of was missing for a few weeks here.
Well, that's awesome to hear, man. Well, congratulations, and shout out to whoever you like to, bud.
Yeah. Again, AJ, great finish. AJ Musselman. P6 was right there with us in the thick of it. Shout out to Gavin too, for wonderful moves there. Like the way he was moving, it wasn't blocking. It was great offensive driving on his part. And I was just like, I was in awe of how him and Alex were battling. Plug my own Twitch channel.
Absolutely.
Twitch.tv/Bubby less than 3 BUBBY less than and the number 3, all one word. Be loving if you gave me a follow, though I wasn't streaming tonight, obviously.
Stream the guy. Follow the guy that's not streaming.
I mean, I'm not gonna say I'm streaming currently with you, but I don't think you should. And yeah, and big shout out to my wonderful fiance next to me and my wonderful dog Elvis, who you can see on my stream or on my VOD. So this one's for them.
There you go. Congratulations to your fiance for driving the car tonight. I'm just kidding. Anyways, nice job finishing in the third position, Nick.
Thank you, Chris.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, yes. Nicholas Sadiq there finishing in the third position for tonight's Sunset Arctic Games at Texas 400. And that is going to do it for us as we're now heading to Michigan for the, well, continuation of the doubleheader of the Sunset Arctic Games series. It is the Sunset Arctic Games Grand National season from the USRC Grand National cars. That'll be a lot of fun coming up in about 10 minutes or so. We'll be streaming that and going from there as I am scrambling because some reason I'm not finding the screen I'm looking for. There it is. So appreciate everybody for watching this evening. Big shout out to all the viewers for watching this evening. Also a big shout out to iRacing for allowing us to this platform. Of course to Track Cams for Gourmets for allowing us to use their cameras and stuff for the broadcast. To Dakota DeMay for, of course, sponsoring this awesome race and doing what he's doing for all these people. Yeah, it was definitely a lot of fun. So we move on to Michigan, and we will leave you, as always, with the slogan I like to say. Remember, this isn't just a game. It's iRacing. Happy Mother's Day. See ya!
And now the wait is over. The nerves have taken their toll. Ooh. Let go of fear you're holding. The fire smoldering. It's starting all over again. I got a feeling that I ought to know it, burning inside. I got a feeling that I ought to know it, yeah. Every time I grip the wheel, I begin to feel I know I'm in love. Why not go right? You got a fix for me, you know.
Be strong.